Hey, I'm Jamie, and we're back with the Florida East Coast SW1200. Again, this is a $20 thrift store find, and we're going to start the teardown process of this. I already checked the motor in it. It runs great, but there's some issues with it. The front light doesn't work, and I'm going to drop in a DCC decoder anyway. And also I'm going to replace the side trucks on this with a roller bearer and design that I made. So these are really easy to take apart. All you need is a Phillips screwdriver, and I'll just go ahead and kind of turn it upside down. And let's see if I can get it in my other camera here. With a small Phillips screwdriver, there's 2 screws that hold in the couplers, one on each end. This also, I found, that actually secures the shell to the body. So by removing these screws, and let me get my tweezers. There we go. I'm not going to use the horn couplers anyway, but I want to make sure I keep the coupler boxes. Those are important. So we have that end done. I'm going to repeat the same thing on this end. And boom, we have the couplers removed from the body chassis. And what I'm going to do is just go ahead and separate these out. There we go. I don't use horn couplers in my layout. I use KD or equivalent couplers. So these I'll put in my little junk bin here. And if you haven't seen any of my other projects, I highly recommend that you invest in one of these. It's just a storage box. I bought this at Target. I'm sure you can find them at Walmart and 1,001 other places. But it has all these little compartments in it. Perfect for your locomotive so you don't lose parts. It saves me a ton of time. So I have the couplers disassembled. I'm just going to drop them in to a little compartment inside of my storage box. This way I don't have to worry about the cats knocking them around, kids, or whatever have it, or losing them. Everything will stay perfectly together. Now that we have the screws removed and the couplers removed, we should be easily just flip it over and lift straight up on the body. Now we have our body component separated from our drive components, the chassis. And I can see already that and as we go down in there, we can see the front light bulb, and then there's one up in here that we'll get to here in just a second. For right now, I'm going to leave this as it is. This is the default factory DC control board. We're going to get through there and disconnect all of these wires and remove the board so we can isolate the motor in order to install DCC, but that's in another video. So for right now, I'm just going to set this to the side in my box. Now the body is actually, let me think about that, 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. The walk platform, I guess that's the technical term for it. I'm sorry, it's Sunday and I just mowed the grass. It's a little bit hot, so bear with me. The walkway, the walk platform that goes around the engine is one piece. The body, again, is the second piece. And actually the cab back here is a third piece. And then inside of that cab is yet another piece. And that pretty much the engine in a nutshell. So we're going to remove the main body from the walkways, mainly on these, and this is probably why these are, the handrails or grab irons are broken, because, well, they're kind of go together. Two pieces, and they must have tried to take it apart to fix something, and it just didn't work out. So the body should actually come off fairly easy. And you want to be careful. There's actually 4 tabs, excuse me, actually 5 or 6 tabs depending on the design sometimes. We have 1 in the back, 2 on each side, and then 2 in the front. So I'm going to grab my other set of tweezers, and we're just going to gently move it over to the side. And what I'm just trying to do is to pop this plastic piece up. Let's see if I can get into camera. Pop the side rail, the side walkway up above this plastic piece that holds it in place. So let me loosen them up first, because sometimes, again, something else to watch out buying used locomotives is sometimes this base is glued to the main body. I haven't had it happen too much, but that is a possibility. Let me get there. And I just want to make sure. And I'm trying to press and not get the other rails. When I press this, it's kind of a gentle move here. And let me just see. A squeeze on the sides. All right, everything's loosened up. There we go. And again, this is another common thing to look for. The inside front can be also sometimes glued to the body. It seemed like it was a little bit, but they didn't use a lot of glue, and that's a good thing. I'm going to come back here to our middle ones. Here they are again. And again, there's tabs here also on the inside, and those appear to be glued as well. And I'm just trying to get underneath it. Let's start from this side. And you don't want to put too much force on the plastic, because, well, it will break. Well, those little boogers are glued in rather well. So, let me grab something quick. And I'm back. I am hoping that this is CA. It feels like CA. And what I'm going to do is use some Bob Smith Industries. I have no ties with Bob Smith Industries whatsoever. I enjoy the products. This is an uncure. It's basically super glue, uncure, and it should work within a few minutes. And I'm just going to go to our problem plot here. Oh, there we go. A little bit too much there. And I'll put it there, and I'm going to repeat it on the other side as well. And just really a drop will do. Be very careful with this stuff. It will remove paint. There we go. And I'm just going to let that sit for a second or two. And let's see what we start getting. Yeah, it's still... There we go. And actually, I think that more than likely that's probably plastic glue. So we ended up breaking this tab that was glued to the body and the walkway. You know, that's it happens sometimes. Don't be discouraged about it. There's enough in here to hold his body together, trust me. I even broke tabs off of different bodies, and it has been fine. So we can pinch the front, get here, remove there, and our last piece here. Oh, and that one, unfortunately, this is kind of what happens. They break off. Depending on the age of the plastic and a lot of other factors. And this one seems to be glued around it, and I'm just going to kind of wiggle it. I'll start breaking it loose. There we go. I'm just trying to get under. Let's go ahead and remove this side grab iron because it's completely useless. This one as well. Again, I'm going to reprint these and replace them. Go daggum it. There we go. As you see, it pulled out cleanly. Sometimes I do go around with the Bob Smith stuff on the inside to get them to loosen up. Some that are more difficult. These I don't really care about, so I didn't really do that. As you see, it's broke down a piece in the bottom. We'll pull that out. Try to pull that out. If not, we can just re-drill it. It's easy enough. The last little piece seems to be There we go. Actually, it seems like the cab is going to lift up. So we're going to come back and again, we pull. The cab is a different piece from the base, so I'm just going to remove these two grab irons on the side, and they should just pull out easily. There we go, there's one. And there's that one. Perfect. Now the cab should just lift straight out. Let's see. There we go. We got in the famous back and forth motion. Let's see if we can use this as a spacer. The back and forth motion is when it releases on one side and grabs on the other. There we go. As you see, the cab still has the wires inside of it. These are easy enough. Again, we're not going to reuse any of these electrical components. So I'm just going to come in and pull straight out. And there we go. So we have our cab. I'm trying to think, is there any reason I need to remove? I don't think there is. Since I'm just going to do a standard DCC install on this, I'm going to use a N-scale 2 function. I'm not going to put ditch lights on this one like on my previous one I did. I'm going to keep it simple. So really there's no need to remove this main body from the walkways. But we went ahead and moved the cab because, well, you need to remove the cab to get up into the top of it to replace the light bulb that's in the incandescent light that's up there. The cab is in a few different pieces. Easiest way, again, you see some little clips to the side. I'm just going to come in and kind of gently pry it out and grab it. And there it is. Don't be afraid, the windows will fall out, and actually that window is, should have been one piece. It looks like the windows are, well, glued in at the top. As you can see here, the window should actually go up here, but it's already broken off somehow. So somebody probably came in and did repairs on this locomotive already, but we're here. You can see the top has been glued. I don't think, probably used plastic model cement. Let's just see. Just trying to get it in there. Let me give it a tug here. And go ahead and take out the up, there it goes. And they did use CA at the top, but again, you see the problem here. This is actually broke off from the side there, but you know what, we'll repair it, easy enough to fix. So I'm just going to set this here, let the uncured dry out, and finish the teardown. If you look at the lights, how they go up, there's glass into the back. We're going to remove the clear plastic. Comes out. Here's a key thing to remember. There's actually a slot in the rear glass, or actually the front facing glass, technically, that allows you to run the wires up in it to it. Something to keep mindful of. And the final piece is, you see that the light bulb at the top is actually in a little case. Most of the time that should not be glued in, but the luck we're having, it probably is. It feels loose. I think if we move it back and forth and get some tweezers on it, I think that, oh, there it goes. Perfecto. We have our piece out now. There's the incandescent light. Again, we're going to replace this with LEDs, and I'm just going to pick out the light. Boom. Add that to my incandescent light panel. So we have all the parts here. We have our people on there, which I don't know if I'll keep them in there or not. They're easy enough to pull out. What the heck? I've removed them from my other locomotives. And there we go. Now, add these to my junk bin. There we go. Boom. And there's my handrails that are broken. Throw that in. We have our cab now that's loose. We have the LED, well, it's going to be the LED, but the light holder. It's going to remove the glue that was holding it in there, and that's just, it's like regular gunk glue. So we have our piece that holds the light in. We have our glass from the cab. We have our cab piece, and we have the main engine body. I'm going to go ahead and put these away to the side. And then the final, I'm going to come back and remove this piece here off of the cab. Again, I'm going to reprint this. I have a side rail that's going to go from up here all the way down to the side, more of the modern style. And this should be lifting right on out. There we go. I'm going to repeat the process on this side. And there's these two pieces, and again, they're broken and not going to work for me. And actually, you can see the glue. That's very interesting on that side. And just kind of curious if I can get in here and remove this. And the tweezers I use, you can find them Walmart, wherever. There we go, perfecto. Or sometimes I actually raid my wife's thing in the bathroom, and she wonder where her clippers and stuff like that goes. Anyway, I think that's good. That's good. Let's remove this piece up here. This is part of the old handrail. There we go. We have the old handrail down at the bottom here. Boom. There we go. And this piece here is don't really like, I've designed one of these before and I don't really like it that much. So I'm going to try to keep the original one intact as much as I can. I think I just come back and touch this up with a little bit of super glue when we get to it. But that's the breakdown of it. So we have all the components in. We have the main chassis separated from the body, and that's what we need to do. So I'm gonna, is this gonna fit in here? You never have enough room. Never enough room. I'm just looking over the chassis. Yeah, like I said, it looks good. There seems to be some dried grease on there. But when we get to the point where we lubricate this, we'll take care of that. Again, the Locomotive looks really great. So, that completes the teardown. Next time, we're going to come in and I'm actually going to start with the chassis here. I'm going to remove the side trucks and replace them with the roller bearing trucks I 3D printed. We're going to remove also the, well, before I do that, I'm going to then lubricate the engine and then remove the control board. So that will be a little bit of a fun project. If you haven't took off the side trucks before, well, it's really not much to that either. So nothing here that you can hurt yourself on. Just don't lick it. But there it is. So we have a tore down engine, and we're going to work on this more next time. So I appreciate you watching, and if you haven't already, subscribe, come out to my website, subscribe to my newsletter, and let's follow the progress on this. And again, we'll get this puppy up and running with DCC and make it really cool with some LED lights. And I'll get in more about LED lights. I know some people have strong opinions about those, but again, it's all about getting the color temperature right of your LEDs, and I'll cover that when we get to that on this project. So until next time, I appreciate it and hope you guys have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.